Hi mommies and daddies, welcome back to Momcom India. Before I start this video, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I have a throat infection right now, so please ignore the bad voice quality. Now let's get on to the video. So in this video, we are talking about something that worries most of the parents, stresses most of the parents, because the topic is what should be normal weight gain for a healthy baby up to the age of 2 years. Now what I've read in a lot of comments that we get from parents, a lot of parents that we talk to, or we see in our friend circle or our surrounding, is that one worry that parents will have is that my baby is not gaining enough weight. Now that is absolutely fine as a worry, because weight gain is actually one of the very good indicators of a baby health. But my question to those parents is that do they actually know that what is considered normal weight gain or a healthy weight gain? So in this video, we are solving all those worries. Let's get started.
To watch all the videos on this channel, click on the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get regular updates from Momcom India. Let's become a big fat family soon.
Before I start this video, my request is, if you do like it or find it helpful, please click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Momcom India, because we have a lot of informative and fun videos coming every week for you. So now let's start by first understanding what, as per the doctors, should be a weight gain for the babies up to 2 years. How should the entire journey be? And the starting point of that journey is actually knowing what is the birth weight of the baby. Now, a lot of you parents will think that, that's something that is done, but you will be surprised to know that we've read some statistics that say that about 30% babies in India, their birth weight is not even checked because of lack of medical facilities. So for those 30% babies, actually there is no yardstick for maintaining a weight gain check, because you don't even know what was the start point. Hence, I'm focusing that ensure that you note the birth weight of the baby, because that's how you will be tracking the growth. Now, whatever birth weight the baby is born with, normally what happens is that in the first 5 to 7 days, the baby is bound, most of the babies are bound to lose up to 10% of their birth weight. This is considered to be very normal, and one of the biggest reasons for this is, apart from other reasons, is that when the baby is inside the womb, there is a natural channel of food that the baby continues to get without making an effort. But when the baby comes in the outside world, the baby has to make an effort to learn how to breastfeed, and their time of breastfeeding, how much milk were they able to take, all of that, it takes time to master the entire concept of taking food now. Hence, babies lose weight, but within about a few weeks they gain that weight back also. If the weight loss is more than 10%, then it's a cause of worry, and in your follow-up visit to the doctor is bound to assess what is it that's causing that weight loss in the babies. So, the birth weight of the baby, the weight went down in the first 5 to 7 days, which is absolutely normal. But from there on, the weight only has to gain on a weekly basis up to 1 year. Up to 1 year, there will never be a time that your baby's weight will actually be constant, because in the first year of the baby's life, the weight gain is going to be at a very fast pace. The guidelines that the doctors normally look at is that till 6 months, the baby should double their birth weight, and up to 1 year, the baby should triple their birth weight. Now, I'm going to show you something that will come very handy, and I'm hoping that a lot of you would have that also, is that normally when your baby is born, you get something like this, which is like a growth chart tracker. This is a growth chart for weight. Then there's a head circumference, and there's also height, but I'm ignoring that right now. So what it does is that whenever you're visiting your doctor, basically in those monthly visits, the doctor will mark the weight gain that your child is having on a month-on-month basis, because whenever you visit your doctor, the weight will be checked. And that way, when the weight is constantly on a growth, then the doctor will assess that as per the guidelines and as per the growth, it's going absolutely fine. This chart is broken down into percentiles. So it tells you that whether your baby is within the 50 percentile range or a 80 percentile range or a 40 percentile range, you don't really have to worry about that till the time the yardstick is being met, that is 6 months double and 1 year triple, and till the time your baby is constantly gaining. So every week, even if the baby is gaining 100 gram, 200 gram, it's fine till the time it's not constant or it's not dipping. If in the first year you find that the baby's weight is starting to dip or is getting constant, then there could be an underlying issue that you should be discussing with your doctor. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that make sure that every time you do a baby's weight check, the scale needs to be the same. So normally what happens is that when you take your newborn baby for your visits, they will ask you to remove everything that the baby is wearing, including the diaper, and then do a weight check. I would suggest the opposite, because that can be quite discomforting for the child, especially when the child starts to grow. I would suggest that make a standard, something like a costume that the baby wears to the doctor, a simple t-shirt, a diaper and a pant, and try to keep the clothing exactly the same in your follow-up visits also, so that you know that with this particular clothing, this is the weight that my child is getting, and you will not have to remove it. So 100, 200 grams of whatever clothing weight is gone, you could subtract that and note the remaining weight gain. That's something that worked well with us also, and we never had to go through the process of removing everything. So this was about the first year of the baby's life. Now let's talk about the second year. Now second year is very, very crucial, and a lot of parents need to understand that in the second year, the baby weight gain actually slows really, really down. So assume your baby was born with a 3 kg weight, and till 1 year the baby tripled the weight and it reached 9 kg. Now a lot of parents expect that my baby's weight should also go up in the second year in a similar way, especially because now my baby has started solids. He's eating so much, he's eating rice, he's eating ghee, he's eating milkshakes and whatnot, and why is he not gaining weight? But actually that's not true. A lot of calories that the baby is taking is also being used in the activities that the baby is doing, which he was not doing earlier in the first year of his life. So that's why a lot of those calories get consumed by the body and the weight gain slows down. So in the second year of the baby's life, it is absolutely normal for the baby to gain only 2 to 3 kg of weight. That's all. Now, I get a lot of questions from parents saying that my baby is not eating too well, he has feeding problems. And when I ask them that, can you tell me about the baby's activity level? Is the baby lethargic? Is he meeting all his developmental milestones? The answers are that otherwise the baby is absolutely fine. Baby is really, really active, happy baby, meeting all the development milestones. And then I actually ask them, so what is the weight gain that the baby has had from 1 year to whatever age that the baby is? And the answers are very surprising, because the baby normally has already gained about 1.5 to 2 kgs, and actually that's enough for the baby in the second year. So the more clarity we have about the second year, I think the less stressed we'll be, because one worry that parents normally have is that my baby is eating or not eating and it is not matching the weight gain. I personally feel that even a doctor does not just assess a baby's health only by looking at the baby. The doctor also has yardsticks and weight scale to assess whether the baby is gaining weight or is healthy enough or not. So who are we as a society to just look at other children or just look at other babies and say that your baby looks very lean, he's not healthy, or he's not gaining weight? I think we need to stop doing that, and we need to actually start discussing these things with our doctors in our regular visits. Ensure we have a weight tracker, ensure we know the guidelines, and then be happy about the fact about how we are developing or nurturing our children, because I think a lot of effort goes in it, but that effort gets wasted when we don't understand the entire concept of a healthy weight gain. Now we've talked about how much weight should a baby gain up to 2 years. Now let's talk about what you as a parent can do to promote a healthy weight gain. So 0 to 6 months is a time when normally a child would be on breastfeeding as much as you could do, or formula feeding. With breastfeeding, there are a couple of things that a mother should keep in mind. Number one is that when feeding the child, the mother needs to ensure that the breast should be as empty as possible during the feed. So normally the doctor suggests that feed the baby for 15 minutes from one side and 15 minutes from the other. Now I'll tell you why this is so. So what happens is that as soon as the baby starts feeding from one breast, the initial milk that comes out is called foremilk. Foremilk is generally more watery, it is high on antibodies and less on fat content. However, as the baby sucks more milk and gets deeper inside and the breast starts to get empty, more fat content gets pulled out from the breast, and that's where the hind milk, which is full of fat, is passed on to the child. So when the baby empties the entire breast, the baby gets a good combination of antibodies, which is important for immunity, and your fat and other nutrients. So that ways the weight gain of the baby is assured to be fine. So let me give you an example of everyday life. So when you want hot water from the tap and you immediately open the tap, what happens is that the first water that comes out is normally cold, and slowly it's get warmer, and finally you get hot water. So the concept of the full fat milk is also very similar to that. As soon as the baby starts sucking from the breast, the initial milk that comes out is more antibodies, more other nutrients, and the deeper the baby gets inside is the milk that contains the healthy fat, which is very important for the weight gain of the baby, and that's where the baby gets the weight from. The second thing a mother needs to keep in mind when it comes to breastfeeding is that feed the baby in regular intervals. Don't let them go empty stomach for long. So feeding a newborn baby every 2 to 3 hours is very good. If the baby is about 3-4 months, you could maybe maintain like a 3 to 4 hours, but don't go beyond like a 4 hours for a baby. I think that ways you will maintain the metabolism of the baby also well. And I'll give you the tap water example again. So when you've used the example that we talked about, when you've used that water and you want the hot water again, if you get that water within the next 1.5 hours, sooner I mean, the chances are that you will not go through the entire process of cold water and then hot water. The water will still be warm, so you will get to the hot water faster. But if you maintain a long gap, example, you use the water in the morning and now you're using it in the evening, you will have to go through the entire process again. So the sooner you feed your child, the higher chances of the full fat milk coming or being provided to the child are more. So this was 0 to 6 months. Just focus on breastfeeding, ensuring whatever details I've shared. After 6 months, you are open to a whole new world of things that will ensure healthy fat to your babies. We've done a separate video on that where you'll know that what are the weight gaining foods for babies. But between 6 to 12 months, depending on baby's age, introduce these foods. Things like ghee, things like cheese, egg, your bananas, sweet potatoes, all of these are very, very rich in healthy fat and contribute towards a healthy weight gain. After your baby is 1 year, apart from these things, introduce milkshakes in your baby's diet. That help quite a lot to build a lot of healthy weight gain. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. I thought that it is my responsibility to come out and share with a lot of you that don't stress about the society, stress about whether as per the doctor's yardsticks your baby is doing fine or not. And apart from weight gain, look at the other factors. Is your baby active or generally your baby is lethargic? Is your baby late in meeting the development milestones? Is your baby peeing proper? Normally a newborn baby should have more than 6 to 7 wet diapers. Is he pooping out fine? So if the baby otherwise is fine, his health is fine, his immunity is stronger, then really weight gain is not something that should worry you till the time the baby is gaining weight as per the yardsticks. And also remember, how a baby looks is also dependent on his genes. It's a contribution of the genetic factor. So if the father or the mother are short, the baby might not be very tall. If the father or mother are generally on the leaner side, the baby also might be on the leaner side, but the baby may be very, very strong. So those factors also contribute a lot and should not worry you with just when the world says your baby is not chubby enough, he does not have chubby cheeks, that means your baby is not healthy. So just ignore all of that and focus on having a great time with your baby. So with that said, please like the video, do comment and share what your experience is, any other video requests that you have, subscribe to our channel, and definitely promote Momcom India as much as you can.